let's go back to the Penn State-West Virginia game for a second.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people really, really fanning the flames of Penn State this week. A lot of playoff predictions, including Penn State. I don't know if it's because people believe it or because they're trying to be different and cute and not put Michigan or Ohio State in. I don't really know. I'm a Penn State grad. I've got a Beaver Avenue sign behind me. I hope that's the case, but I'm not sure I'm fully there.
Okay.
With respect to this game, though, if you've never been at a night game at Beaver Stadium, if you've never been at a night game on the home opening weekend at Beaver Stadium, let me tell you, it is unlike any other atmosphere you'll ever experience.
Wow.
The whole town will be ripped by about 1:30 in the afternoon.
Can attest, have been early on to a Penn State game. And it was, I got, she was very friendly, but she was 87 or something, and she was gonzo. It was great.
The whole town will be ripped. I was at the Penn State-Miami game in 2001, and there was an electricity in the air unlike anything I've ever experienced, and I've been at all sorts of games now. Penn State went on to lose that game 33-7. They were down 33-0 through like the first three quarters. But that was Ken Dorsey era Miami.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit different than Neal Brown era West Virginia.
Yeah.
You know, I think this is basically the end of the Neal Brown era, or the beginning of the end, let's say, of the Neal Brown era. I don't think West Virginia fans would mind me saying that, because it's been a steady diet each offseason of needing to make mass wholesale changes.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually, if it doesn't work, that's a problem. That says more about the coach than it does about the changes.
Hey, real quick, thanks for stopping by. Now would be a terrific time to subscribe to the Solid Verbal for college football videos all season long.
I think the plan this year is pretty obvious on offense. The plan this year is run the crap out of the ball with CJ Donaldson behind a pretty good offensive line and do your best to keep the defense off the field as much as possible. Right. That is the template for West Virginia in 2023. Unfortunately, the schedule is also pretty difficult, so they could execute that to near perfection and still not really go anywhere in terms of wins and losses.
Yeah.
They're not good enough to beat Penn State, and I don't think they're good enough to keep it close against Penn State, close enough within that 20.5 number.
Right.
So I think the combination of West Virginia's deficiencies with all this excitement, frankly, around Penn State in 2023, Penn State's got something to prove this year. This gives them the perfect chance to get the national stage right out of the gate and try to make that case as a national playoff contender, national championship contender. I don't know. I think they cover. I think this is something like 38-16.
Okay.
One of those deals where they cover, but only barely. I think a lot to be excited about coming out of this game for Penn State. Nothing but good vibes for Drew Allar. For some of the newcomers, I expect Dante Cephas to have a really big season for the Nittany Lions. 38-16 is my prediction.
Yeah, I'm taking Penn State as well. I think if West Virginia had a better offense, look, they'll have a better offense this year, but a better offense than what I think they're going to have this year. It becomes more interesting to me. Obviously, JT Daniels moving along again. His third stop now is going to be at Rice. Sidebar, do you know that JT Daniels will start at Texas for the third team that he's played for? Rice at Texas, USC at Texas, West Virginia. I just appreciate that. Okay. I worry about West Virginia's line against what this Penn State front can and will do. And I think that can change the game rather quickly. As good as CJ Donaldson clearly is, can't do it alone. And so I like the changes that West Virginia made. I'm just not in on their passing game. I'm just, the defense was such a disaster at times last year. There's just, Penn State has its act two together. The atmosphere will be too electric, as you mentioned, that I have Penn State here by 3 or 4 touchdowns. Now, it's the first game of the year, right? This is a team that is now saddled with huge expectations, a new full-time starting quarterback with huge expectations on his shoulders to immediately be great. I can understand why that you can get out of the gate in sort of sludgy fashion. So there was part of me when looking at this game that was like, well, maybe it's a 24-11 game, some sort of weird score where, it's never really competitive, but Penn State never really pulls away because it's week 1 and they're just sort of feeling things out. That to me happens in 30 out of 100 simulations, but ultimately, yeah, I think it's 24-27 points. James Franklin and the Lions take care of the business.
Yeah, and look, to be fair,
Yeah.
I want to be clear my
Please.
stance on West Virginia. I think the changes that they made in the offseason were shrewd.
Mm-hmm.
I think they did the right thing. I think they are doing the right thing by steering into what they are truly good at, and that's running the football. They just don't have enough variety.
Right.
They don't have enough variety, and they don't have the defense to hold down Penn State.
Yeah.
And so that's why I've got Penn State to cover at home. But I agree with you. I mean, there could be some week one jitters. There could be some week one confusion. That's probably going to happen across the board in college football.
I myself have week one jitters and
I
confusion.
hit the wrong button earlier. Yeah.